Apparently, like Sparking Zero is like an incredibly small game. It's like 20 gigs.
Yeah.
I was downloading. I was like, I don't know if I'm having enough space.
Downloaded so fast. I love that fucking game.
It was alright. Oh, sorry, I gotta pull out Uzumaki.
It's also nice to know there's a game that I'm good at because I'm not very good at video games, as you've known.
You're pretty good at like video games.
I'm very ass at shooters,
Yeah, but that's like exclusively shooters.
but I'm also not very. I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm very.
You're really
good.
bad at story games.
That's like a light novel.
A visual novel.
Visual novel. Yeah. I was really bad at Danganronpa.
Yeah.
Actually, I wasn't.
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
You're looking at the numbers backwards. You're like, I don't know what these numbers mean.
Let me ask Leon. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Markiplier. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
Have you seen the failed intro? What's called compilation? They're like, "Hello, everybody. My name is Welcome."
I do that a lot in my TikTok videos. I'll just stumble on my words. Or when we voice act, I do that a lot.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, you're there directing me. But whatever. Hey everybody, welcome to Read 'em and Scream, this year's Halloween episode. Last year we did another. Today we're doing Uzumaki, which is something that I've been wanting to read for a while. I really like body horror. I think body horror is really cool. Mainly drawings. I think
We're not gonna do the bit where we pretend this is a Naruto prequel.
Oh fuck. Oh, okay. Hold on. Fuck. Scrap this. Hello everybody. Welcome to Read 'em and Scream. My name's Davie. Over here is my friend Esau. Today we're actually reading Uzumaki, as in.
Not like Naruto, right? Like,
No.
what do you mean?
As in like Uzumaki,
Yeah, Naruto Uzumaki. They got the same symbol on them.
but like, I think you have been mistaken here. Did you read all of Naruto?
Yeah.
So when I text you, we're reading the entirety of Uzumaki.
Yeah.
You read all 70-something chapters of Naruto.
And Boruto, because he's also Uzumaki.
I would never fucking ignore Boruto on this show. What the fuck did you think?
One moment, please.
One of us has to change.
Welcome back to Read 'em and Scream?
Read 'em and
You
Scream.
know, now the name makes sense.
Yeah. So, I didn't think Naruto was scary at all.
I was like, okay, Boruto, that makes sense why we're screaming.
Could you imagine reading Naruto, flipping through the page?
Imagine reading through this book and doing that either.
It is... Okay, I guess we'll get into it now. Yeah, okay, we'll stop fucking around. So, we're reading Uzumaki, a Junji Ito book, who is widely well-renowned for horror manga.
Yes.
And I've never read any... I've never read any of his books.
I have.
I'm a big horror fan when it comes to movies. Making a horror short film that's coming out pretty soon. And I was really excited because I like body horror. I mainly drawings. I follow a lot of artists who do horror style drawings and body horror, which is weird because I have a big fear of blood, as you've known. It's like my biggest fear. I like body horror, and so I knew you didn't.
I do not.
So I was kind of worried for you.
I suggested this mainly because there was nothing else that made sense for us to read.
Yeah, I didn't want to do another shitty book like last year.
I liked another.
I didn't want to do any fuck ass book.
So I suggested Uzumaki mainly because it's like one of the biggest known Junji Ito creations. Also because it was getting an anime, and I was like, oh, that'll be so topical. Apparently, the first episode was so good.
That's what I hear.
Apparently, they spent ages doing it, and it spent so long, they were like, fuck it, we're going with another studio.
I also hear the story is different than what's in the book.
I don't know. I would not know.
So I guess I will have to watch, and I'll let you know.
Have to is...
I liked the book. I'll just say right now, I liked it.
I liked it.
I
I did not think it was bad.
So we're not going to shit on it like last Halloween.
Yeah.
We didn't shit on this, but we shit on our last Halloween special.
Yeah.
I did mainly.
Yeah.
It was me. I'm lumping you in there, but it was me. I think the book is really good, and I'll get into why the things I like, what I don't like.
Let me talk about the thing I think is so dumb and I hate it.
Start negatives off the bat.
Well, I'm gonna my one negative. I wanted to say this like since I was reading it. That girl, what's her name?
I don't remember.
Like it's like Kiri or something.
I read it all last night. So
yeah, same. But like the storm says her name a bunch of times. You would think I would remember it.
Yeah, I remember Shuichi.
Yeah, I also remember Shuichi.
Okay, I think we might have the same gripe.
Kyrie.
Kyrie?
You should have remembered that.
I really should have. Is it the fact that whenever anything happens, she's like, I don't think it's the spiral.
You're being paranoid. She watched a motherfucker turn into a spiral, absorb a man, and then absorb herself. What the fuck do you mean you don't believe this guy's like the spiral has them? He's been right every time.
I feel bad for him for being right every single time.
Also, I thought she had blue eyes. She has blue eyes here, but I think that's just an artistic direction. She has brown eyes in the second time they show her.
Yeah, it could be a thing where like manga panels aren't colored that often, or like he didn't color them. Someone else colored them. It could not be. It could be just nothing specific.
Yeah.
Kind of like a. I guess this doesn't count, but Naruto's Rasengan being blue in the anime.
Because I'm like, that's a different person. I thought she was blonde with blue eyes.
No, her hair's always been brown, but
I thought it was red with blue eyes.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, she looks exactly like an Uzumaki.
Naruto mentioned. I think with also what I like about the anime is I like it's in black and white.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it.
I also saw the only clip I saw was the eyeball roll,
which I thought was really cool. I'm hesitant to watch it because I think seeing moving body horror might be a little too much for me.
Yeah.
I think still images is totally fine.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to bring up. This is not the first Junji Ito I've read. I've also read Censor, and it's fine. It has the way Junji Ito does his stuff. It feels more like folklore than it does anything else. I feel like I'm reading folklore.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly how Censor felt.
Yeah.
He likes to go into space. I've noticed.
And we're going to space.
Yeah. Because at the very end, with that side story, he was just like, and a space chapter. For no reason.
I really like how it doesn't feel like one full story for most of the book.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like an anthology of, like, horror stories all wrapped into one. And then like, the last 5 chapters are, like, a coherent storyline.
Yeah.
At first, I was just kind of like... Because when we had to read it for the show... A lot of the time, me and Esau will read the night before we record. 1, because things are fresh, and 2, because we put it off until the end.
I have a lot of things to read.
Yeah. But it also keeps it fresh. That way we're not having to remember things that happened a long time ago when we were reading.
Yeah.
Reading through all of Uzumaki is definitely probably not the way to,
It was pretty taxing.
Yeah.
It's also, like, you kind of just get too full of information.
Yeah.
That being said, it does start. It starts at this is who I am, bam, plot. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I guess it makes
right
sense because it's a single volume. It's a short story. No matter how long.
Anthology,
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. But yeah, it's a short series of stories. I like it. I think it's interesting how the characters all feel. I think had you shown me this before COVID, I'd be like, everyone's acting so fucking stupid. Knowing what we know about people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is like the most realistic fucking depiction of people going through tragedy I've ever seen.
Yeah. Shuichi is like this guy was like on it. He was like, spirals are bad. His dad was like, I kind of like spirals. He's like, oh no. Shuichi was like, I know what this means.
Yeah. My interpretation of him already kind of knowing is like, given spiral being the theme, is that this cycle is going to continue through new people, and he has experienced this before in a past life. This has happened before.
Well, even if that isn't the reason, he says why. It's because he feels the negative energy coming from the area. Because he's the only one that regularly leaves and comes back.
Yeah.
Because this is like a rural town. There's like a lot of like individual weird spiral happenstances. Were you like especially like fucked around with mentally with any specific one?
My favorite of the bunch probably had to be, well, definitely the girl with the eye rolling thing. That's just a classic. The Jack in the Box kid stood out to me. The pregnant mosquito women.
So I've seen that one. Fuck with that one. So I was like, I'm not as squeamish as I thought I would be, and then I got to that chapter and I lied. Fuck that.
Specifically when he put him back.
Yeah,
in,
like
that,
literally right as they put them back.
That one was probably the most gnarly depiction of anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
but for me, the spring one. So I've actually seen the part where he's like, "My love for you will stop this car," and then he gets mangled.
I can't lie, I laughed.
I laughed because I've also seen that meme like independently
Yeah.
of just that.
Yeah. Cause I don't know. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? I think that the fact that she's just seeing so many people fucking die all the time, and she's like something. She's like, it can't be like a curse.
Have you seen that stupid meme? Is like the triangles in the Circle Factory, or like square in a Circle Factory. It's like a square. How queer! I must inquire about this further. It's like the people from, the guy with Bill Cipher.
Oh, Gravity Falls.
Yeah, Gravity Falls. It's like the guy's like, it's his voice, and then it's the other, his brother or something. He's like, I guess we're doing circles now.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like, instead of being like, these are caused by the spiral, I should investigate this. Like Shuichi, she's like, I guess this is happening.
Yeah,
like,
it's very just like, okay, this is what we're dealing with now.
yeah. I feel like the moment a man twists himself into a spiral,
I leave.
and that was the first thing that like literally the first thing that happened.
Because maybe at that point they could have escaped. You know.
Yeah.
Later on, they literally can't.
Yeah.
But you know, how many fucked up things need to happen before you dip? You know what I mean? Like, again, we mentioned just the first thing happening, we're out there. But like, there's the lighthouse one also stuck with me a little bit.
Lighthouse one was like freaky, but
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah. The snail one. I remember a little more of these than I thought I was going to.
The snail one was weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, this one wasn't scary. I'm just like, okay.
It's weird.
Yeah.
The brother turning into a snail and fucking off.
I really like how like, it ends with, and then the teacher got turned into a snail.
That's always how it ends. And then this happened. Or and then I left. That's always how a lot of these are. And like, the mosquito women started eating everyone, so I left.
Or like the man with who like had like thorns. That one wasn't even about spirals.
The thorns were like,
Yeah, they were spiraling off of him, but
Spiraling.
like they didn't look very spirally. Let's be honest.
that's how a drill works.
You would know a lot about that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Simone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Never mind. Like that one, I was just like, okay, this one like doesn't fit.
I didn't like. That was probably my least favorite one, to be honest.
That was like the least interesting one at the very least.
Yeah. Which one was your favorite?
Mine's the first one, like the one with the dad.
Oh, the very first one.
Yeah, the very first one is like
Mhm.
really freaky.
Yeah. It is unsettling. The whole thing is unsettling.
Like the moment your dad starts spinning his eyeballs like that, I'm like, we gotta go.
Yeah, I'm leaving him behind.
The moment you saw his dad do that as Kyrie, you should be like, Shuichi's right about everything.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck was that about?
Then he did the fucking thing with his tongue.
Dude, fuck that. The moment I see a girl's eye is a literal spiral.
That was after this, though.
Yeah, but like at that point,
I wouldn't have made it that far.
That's when I'm like, okay.
His tongue became like super long, and then he's like, a spiral.
I think it's
Can we redo this bit but with Gurren Lagann?
No.
This is the anti-spiral propaganda.
the Mein Kampf of the anti-spiral.
Holy fuck, man! You can't say that.
Why not?
Because this is Uzumaki.
Yeah, but it's
What are you
a
trying to say
bit.
about Junji Ito?
I guess this is the spiral.
Well, no, this is clearly not in support of Spiral.
You're right. So it's not in the support of spiral. Yeah, it's the Mein Kampf of the anti-spiral.
Yeah, you're calling Junji Ito fucking Hitler, man.
No, in the bit that the anti-spiral wrote this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is Junji Ito is a anti-Spiral.
probably.
Speaking of, apparently he's just like a super wholesome guy. IRL.
That's usually how it goes with horror creators. Like, a lot of horror people are very chill.
Yeah.
This person made a video on TikTok that I wholeheartedly disagree with. And if I find it, I'll put it on screen right now. But essentially, the premise of the video was that if you like horror, there's something wrong with you. You're a fucking weirdo. Like, why do you like gut and bloods and shit?
What?
I said gut and bloods.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was lost in my thoughts right there, and I was like, yeah,
Berserk.
yeah. I did go to Berserk when you were talking about Gut and Bloods.
So they were like, if you find blood and guts interesting, like you're fucking weird. And my thing is like, wow, what a narrow-minded interpretation of horror.
Oh, absolutely.
Horror can be anything.
Yeah, like spirals.
I almost talked about my horror film. That's so conceited. I
Like Censor.
haven't read it, but yeah. But like, I think just the idea of invoking not even fear is just like there's something captivating about watching or reading through an uncomfortable experience.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when like you can theoretically learn something from it. Like, oh, hey, this is like a lot. That's a lot of like old scary stuff. Is like, hey, this is supposed to teach you something.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it's fun to be scared because it's exhilarating.
Yeah.
But it's completely safe.
Yeah. It's also just like mentally like, hey, let's have you really think about these things that could happen. We just amp them up to like 11. I think, horror could be literally being in a place that you've never been to and you don't know how to get out.
Yeah.
Slasher films, which are very popcorn movies, but there's still something cool about things like Scream, you know. Personally, my horror film has no blood in it, but I wanted to talk about something specific, and so there's different ways you can come up with horror ideas. Not everything's just blood and guts, and I think there's nothing wrong with liking horror. I think it's a very closed-minded way to look at things.
I hate horror, and I'm like, oh, if you like horror, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
and it's not for everyone. It's like for sure, like not for everybody. I just think it's like really weird to just be like, if you like horror, you're a weirdo. It's like, well, then just don't watch it.
Yeah. If some like freak was like, I like horror because I want to be a killer. Yeah, that's the problem, guy.
Yeah,
But like,
but that guy was gonna think like that regardless.
yeah. Also, I really like Junji Ito's art style. He's a little freak with it.
I want to kill people. Are you talking about pedophile Stan? Yeah, of course pedophile Stan's gonna be weird. It's pedophile Stan.
Seeing the guy rolled up is so freaky.
It's a gnarly page spread.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude.
I like the art style too. It's like weirdly. It's like a nice mix of Eastern and Western art styles.
Yeah,
It's very Scooby Doo in a weird way.
I agree. I'm trying to figure out when this was published. 2010?
Yesterday.
No, 2020. Okay, 2002. I'm about to say this feels like an older art style.
Yeah.
But it doesn't lean too hard into like over anime, and I feel like it works super well for it.
2002? Damn, they took Naruto's shit. That's crazy.
And it's a post 9/11 horror.
This is an allegory for 9/11 and how the spirals were the cause of it.
You know, like some of these, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, I don't know why this is here. Like the two people falling in love and fucking becoming a snake or something.
Yeah,
And I would say that was pointless, except that happens in the end.
yeah. I liked it. A lot of it, when you don't think of it as like connected to the overall story and more of like an anthology of short horror stories.
Yeah. Like I said, this feels more like folklore than it does like a horror novel.
Yeah. And I enjoyed that story because I think the characters were very well done. I really just didn't like the one where they had the thorns on their fingers.
It didn't make any sense.
I just don't like it. Other than that, I liked every other one. I think this is a really solid book.
Yeah, I don't know why they put like pedophile Stan in there.
Hey, it's me, pedophile Stan.
I was gonna be like this even without the spiral. And then the anti-spiral was like, "This is who you're supporting." Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's just like a solid horror story. I think.
Do you ever have a really weird train of thought?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said "thank you very much," because I said thank you.
Yeah.
So that made me go, Elvis. I've been meaning to get into older music artists like Elvis, except not Elvis, because I know he stole a lot of his songs. Or at least one. I know he stole at least one.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to collect older things. You know, I like to collect older things. I just bought 3 copies of like the original Dark Magician Super Secret Rare printing the other day. They're damaged, so they're like $8 each.
Okay.
But I did buy a playset of those, and that's where my thought process. I was like, I better say that because it's related to what you said, except it wasn't at all.
At all.
Because you said, and I will quote,
Thank
"Thank you very much."
And you said dark magic attack. I've been sending you those TikToks, but there's this guy who like he's pretending to be just an average duelist at like Duelist Kingdom in Battle City.
Yeah.
And then
We
when
can't do that.
he's like, dark magic attack, and he's like, is that even on the card? Like, where does it say that?
The fact that they had to make it a move or its own card.
Is really funny.
Yeah.
And really cool.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
Me too. If there was an easy way to collect and read it,
I meant like the card game.
yeah, but like if there was an easy way to collect and read it, we would do it on the show.
I have the first 6, and it's like like the next what's called is like a little bit pricier. It'll get reprinted though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Eventually. Copium.
I don't know when that will be, but hopefully there'll be some sort of set I can buy.
Yeah.
It's tough. Although the most accessible fucking Yu-Gi-Oh book I can find has been Arc 5. That shit's everywhere.
That's because it's probably like still in print or just finished being in print.
Maybe, but
I wanted to read like all of the Yu-Gi-Oh mangas. Could not get past GX.
really,
Not because it was better, I just couldn't. It just didn't. I just failed to get past it.
I just don't know how much I can read about Duel Monsters.
Yeah. So I actually really like the OCG Stories manga,
Yeah,
which is about the monsters.
Yeah.
Like their lore. The first one was Sky Striker lore, which was genuinely like very interesting. It was about robot girls and then like the one human who exists. It was actually exactly like Heart Gear. I think I brought that up when you were buying it.
yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, and then the next one is about the spellcaster tribal decks. So like Endymion, the Witchcrafters, Aleister Crowley, technically the mythical beasts who are also part of the lore.
Yeah.
It's about their origin. I'm like, what the fuck? Which is all tied into the Magistus lore.
What the fuck? What the flip?
Yeah, and it's honestly like I'm like every time I'm like, shit, that's good.
God, I need to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just expensive.
I spent an unrecommendable amount of money. So I spent $90 on cards the other day.
Mhm.
But I paid $30, so it felt better in my brain.
Mood, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
The first one was like half, like not even half. It was a quarter of a deck, the 3 cards of a Dark Magician. Because I had already had half the deck. I'd been buying it piecemeal every few paychecks. So I was like, fuck it. I'm getting paid soon. I have the money.
Yeah. I think I want to buy more. I want to get more cards, but like, honestly, every time I think about it, I'm like, but I could get another figure or I could get another book.
I would recommend manga over figures or over cards.
Yeah. But I think if I'm getting a figure, usually I'll just get it for like, so far, besides the fucking plethora of Dragon Ball ones I have, and then yours. But what the fuck is it doing up here? We're recording. Fuck. Oh well, we'll put it on the 500 subscriber special.
Yeah, he's not here for horror.
That's
I kind of wish we had a horror
figure. Yeah. I do want to get some Dandadan figures, which is not horror, but it has horror elements. I usually get figures for books I'm collecting. Like I have the Sakura one that I got with the box set, because I wanted a Sakura figure.
How much you pay for that?
Like 15.
Okay, that's what it costs at Ross.
Yeah, it was not expensive at all. And then I thought I was gonna have Blue Lock.
Yeah, you did think you were gonna have an entire shelf of Blue Lock,
and then I didn't. So now I have Nagi, Chigiri, and Bashira, which are my 3 favorite characters.
Yeah, your Bachira is like really interested in that screw over there.
Lean with me, rock with me. Bachira is like my favorite character. I need a better figure for them, because Bachira is so cool.
I wonder if there's like Uzumaki figures.
We can look it up.
We could.
So like, I'll just keep talking about Blue Lock while you do that. I'm gonna hijack this real quick. I really like Blue Lock because I love that even the side characters are just allowed to be fucking awesome. Like, granted, I think JD is cool. I don't think they've done anything cool in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're cool. Bachira is on the shittiest team. Sorry, I'm spoiling Blue Lock. Bachira is on the shittiest team and is just like styling on everybody. And I love that. And then Nagi's, being Nagi. I don't think Nagi deserved a movie. That is really cool.
I like it's also in black and white. It doesn't look very good though.
The idea is cool though.
Yeah.
But if I saw that and I woke up and I saw that looking at me, I'd be fucking terrified.
Yeah, it looks like a mediocre it. But I'm gonna be honest.
Can you send me that, by the way?
The link?
The picture. You can screenshot it and send it to me.
Sure.
I'll put it on screen.
Does eBay let me do that? Yes. Could also send you. It's like $40.
I don't think I'd pay 40 for that.
It's also secondhand. That's why.
I don't think I'd pay 40 for that.
Neither would I.
I think it's very.
But it does come with like a cool Uzumaki box.
That is cool. But I take my figures out of the box. So.
Same.
I do need more variety with my figures though. But ideally, if I had a bigger shelf, I could put the Dragon Ball ones all together, and they wouldn't be so haphazard. And the Naruto ones can fit a little better. I do need more shelves. I would like a Billy bookcase, like you mentioned before we started recording. But we don't have a fucking IKEA near us.
Yeah.
Which sucks. We would have to go out to IKEA, come back,
And
which is honestly worth the trip. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly super worth it. We don't have a truck.
Well, how big are the Billy boxes? Pretty big.
They're pretty big, from what I've seen.
Gotcha.
But I could be wrong. If they shipped here, it'd be great.
I mean, you probably could get it shipped here.
Well, maybe through some other means, but
Yeah.
I haven't looked it up. Ideally, it'd be cool because I want 2 Billy bookshelves. Well, I only need the one actually for my collection. It'd be filling up one shelf, I think.
I don't think so. I think you would need a second shelf. If you're gonna do a lot like you did right here, then probably you're fine.
But I only did that at necessity,
Yeah.
so I'd probably need 2 shelves.
Yeah.
But you definitely need
4 shelves.
4 shelves. Yeah, you. Whoops. You definitely need 4 shelves. You have so many fucking books.
In fact, I might need 5 by now.
I would like to see an updated collection for TikTok because you did one last year. You did one a year ago. Actually, it's already passed. It's been over a year.
Yeah. Where I just pan over all my shit and then talk about cool things.
Yeah, and I have never seen your collection before that point. I had no fucking idea you had that many books.
I have a lot of books.
So many fucking books. I was like, man, my collection's getting pretty big. And then I thought about yours, and I'm like, damn. It's like comparing cock sizes.
Yeah, except you're comparing your cock to mine from last year, and it's gotten, it's like doubled in size.
My cock has only gotten stronger.
Yeah, my collection is like doubled since then.
My cock is bigger now. I'm fucking hard.
But yeah, plus I got that cool new fucking toga figure, dude.
That toga figure looks fucking cool.
Every day I look at it and I go, I spent $220 on this, and it's worth every penny.
I honestly think it was worth it because you got the box set, right?
Yeah.
So now it looks nice. Well, it always looks nice, but now it looks like coherent.
Well, it's not near it. It's at the very center of my square shelf like this, except mine has nine squares. It's at the very center. The box won't fit there. There's no place for me to put it on a shelf because I don't want to put it on the Walmart shelf because it's unstable. Because that's the only place it would fit with the books.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to fucking do that.
That's why you need the Billies.
Yeah, I need the Billies, essentially.
What's your total for your books now?
It's over $850. I have not done the math.
You're so close.
I'm so close.
You're literally just like
a box set now.
How many Naruto box sets do you have?
I have 1.
Dude, when we start reading Naruto, I think you're damn close.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have what? That's only 27 volumes. You have 28 to fucking 70 something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That'll bring me over 90. Or 900, rather.
Yeah.
And then, there are plenty of box sets that I'm planning. I want Claymore. I want Akira. I want all that shit.
Do you have Dragon Ball? Z.
No.
I'm gonna get Z eventually. That one's just so pricey.
Yeah, it's very low on my to grab list because I'm like...
It just feels like an essential.
Yeah, it's like, it's a classic. You have to.
Yeah.
But like, I got other shit that I want. I want to read Witch Hat a Leader.
For how much
I'll tier.
I'll pivot back to what you just said right now.
Mhm.
But I think for how much we talk about Dragon Ball, we need them just to reference whatever the fuck we're talking
Yeah.
about. Go on.
Apparently, like Witch Hat Altair is like really good. Like it's getting a anime soon. People are sucking its dick.
I want that. That's on my list.
I read the first volume and I went and I blew locked. I read the first. I was like, this is pretty good.
I hear people really like it, so I was like, I'm gonna try it.
So that's on my list to collect. Land of the Illustrious. I read the first volume and it was great. I own it. That was my Christmas gift from last year from a buddy of mine. It was on my wish list for them to get me.
I forgot Christmas is coming up.
I already know what I'm getting you. It's like
Really?
it's easy for me.
Oh, okay. Fuck. I don't know what I'm getting you. Because I don't know what you have.
I mean, I can like write something down like as like an emergency. Hey, I don't know what to get you.
I'm just worried about getting you something you already have.
Okay. My list of stuff that I have is pretty updated. The only thing
Okay.
that's like not on it is like some of the light novels I got. I have the first volume of Agame Got Kill, which just came in. It's not on the list yet.
Yeah.
And the My Hero stuff.
Okay. I have an idea.
Oh, 870.
With a Naruto, once you'll be very close.
Yeah.
You'll be like 30 away, I think. That's crazy. You got to do. You have to do like.
I will definitely do a
manga tour.
full tour when
You hit 1,000.
Yeah, but I'll do like a small video.
I'll edit it for you. You do like a full video. I'll edit it for you. I'll give you the
for the channel.
Yeah, I'll fully edit it. I'll just give you the microphone and camera and shit.
Nah, I'll do it on my phone. It's my caveat. I have to do it on my phone.
Can you at least use a microphone?
Yeah, I can hook up my microphone to this. USB-C to C.
Okay. It works pretty well.
My last TikTok was on with it,
Okay.
and the sound was, in my opinion, fine.
Is it a condenser or dynamic?
It's a mic. It's the same mic I used to talk on Discord.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess I could just borrow the Tesseract.
You could. Yeah. But you need an XLR.
Just borrow one of the fucking mics, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you a mic. I'll give you a handheld mic. You can walk around with it, holding it like that. Talk about your shit.
Yeah.
Or actually, I also have some microphones for your phone that I actually can't use because they're not compatible with my phone. They will be to yours.
Shitty Apple guy.
Yeah.
And you own these? These are yours?
These are mine.
So can I have them?
Yeah, I can give them to you. They're basically two lavaliers.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
He's-
Anyway, Uzumaki.
Right.
Like, edit all that out. I want them knowing we're gonna do that. And by we, I mean
for sure.
I don't want them to expect it
Yeah.
anytime soon.
No, I will hold you accountable for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you didn't like? Tell me what you didn't like.
Oh,
if-
it's
if any.
purely just that chapter. I think that chapter was the worst part.
Which chapter?
The thorn ones and it's
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
I didn't like that. But like you mentioned, there's a lot of times where she's like just way too like I don't know. That can't be.
You're
it.
being irrational.
I'm sorry.
Once again, you saw that girl turn into a spiral, eat a guy, and then consume herself.
Dead. You've seen so many people fucking die. Somebody popped out of their grave.
That was before this.
Was
Or
it?
that was after this.
Well, like she was still saying.
Oh yeah,
like,
any time. it
Yeah, she
happened,
was
yeah.
still too like relaxed.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the world was imploding on itself where
Yeah.
she was like, you know what? Can I be real? When I got to the very last chapter, that felt like it was very disconnected. I just kind of stopped fucking caring. I closed the book because I had other shit to do.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but like,
Yeah, I thought it was good. I was just kind of skimming it at that point.
yeah, for me, like the end was actually real interesting. Like the stuff with like the houses, everyone conjoining together.
Oh, that part's all good. It was the very last chapter,
Oh, with them climbing down the tower essentially, or the fucking weird space thing.
like the space thing.
Oh, space thing was a bonus chapter. It's not canon.
Yeah, so I just was like,
A
skimming-
lost chapter, galaxies.
I skimmed that. Like,
I read it, but like only kinda.
yeah,
I vaguely remembered it.
yeah. Everything else I was reading though.
I thought it was really
I-
interesting that like time sped up when they left. For them.
Yeah, that's a very space thing.
Yeah.
Um,
God, this is actually kind of making me sick.
how did you feel about the ending?
It ended. It ended.
Yeah,
like
it ended.
there was no. I almost said no ending, but what I meant to say, there was no happy ending. There was no like
Nothing,
tragic
like,
ending.
cathartic
Yeah,
about
it was just like, hey, this is how it has to end,
Yeah,
or rather, how it's going to end.
and I like it because nothing makes them special for anything that was happening.
Except that
I
the
thought-
storm was flirting with her.
I thought it was funny that
I like how they used the hurricane gun to shoot at them. The one we're using to shoot Florida with? Because they got hit with 8 hurricanes.
They did get hit. They did.
That took you a while.
Sorry, it took me a little bit.
Have you heard people saying that, like, we have a hurricane gun and are shooting Florida?
Yeah.
That's so fucking stupid.
Right?
But it was great for my joke. It was a great setup for me.
Solid bit.
It took you a while to get it.
It did, because I thought you were referencing something in the book. So I was like, what the fuck happened? What chapter did I miss? I think the what was I gonna say?
I like watching the townspeople lose themselves to the spiral. Like, the kids are being forcibly, like, tied up because they're, like, destroying everything for fun.
I like that they just added that little other character who was, like, important for, like, 4 chapters until they just told her to fuck off.
Who?
The news reporter.
Oh, yeah.
She came in for, like, 4 chapters, and then, like, they killed her.
Yeah, she got caught in the house or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of ambiguous what happened to her, but, like, she's dead. Yeah.
Well, she's part of the spiral.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah. But as far as, like, what happened, like, she wasn't, like, twisted up into, like, a different being or something.
Yeah.
If anything, she got off easy. She just fell into the darkness.
Got consumed by a house.
I thought it was so funny the house closes and they're like, oh no, all right, let's leave. Because what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
But it was so, like, anticlimactic.
Well, I think it's because, like, the house flushed itself. Like, everything, once the whole thing was done, everything in them went to the center. To do what? I don't know. The baby one still fucks with my brain, dude. I'm like, why did that one happen? These motherfuckers weren't spirals. They were just babies.
Yeah, they were just babies.
Like, okay, the mosquito made a spiral. Okay, Junji Ito. Okay.
It was, that one made me queasy a little bit.
Absolutely. The babies? Oh, man, this kind of sucks. I kind of wish I was back in the womb.
Bro, me too.
A doctor? I can make it happen.
I figured that out.
The doctor also being like, yeah, they made, like, these mushrooms, which are just placentas. I just ate one.
I like I like how the doctor was like, I don't know why they wanted to go back in, but I did it. I thought it was fucked up when they ate the snail kids.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't read it, please read it.
I definitely... We edit that, put it in the beginning.
Yeah, no, I highly recommend reading this book. I guess my question now is, like, this is a finished book that we've read.
Yes.
One of the few.
Yeah.
Where do you put it on your tier list?
Like a low A, maybe high B.
It's like high A for me.
I don't like horror. I'm very queasy with all this stuff. It was fine. It was pretty well written. I just prefer long form content is the issue. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. I just prefer long form content.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this is so short, it makes me like there are too many questions for me, and that's just how his work is.
A product of horror as well.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to have an answer. And
I'm not gonna lie.
In fact, I feel like this is intentionally not giving you that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's perfect. That girl with bangs, I thought she was the girl with the eye who came back for some reason.
No. So I'm not gonna lie. During this chapter, I was so confused. So I thought this was just a different person because they feel younger with their haircut.
Yeah.
The main character, Kyrie. Also, I would have never kept that gift. This dumb motherfucker who clearly can't take no for an answer and then killed himself for it.
Yeah, I would have thrown that out.
I would have thrown away the gift.
Yeah, I wouldn't have felt bad about it.
Also, not if it was a freaky ass clown. Never catch me. Also, the clown was talking. They were like, we gotta go check on him. The clown said so. I'm sorry?
No, I love that Shuichi was like, at this point, yeah, I am willing to believe that happened.
Yeah, Shuichi's like, we gotta make sure. This motherfucker's probably still alive. I'm gonna put a stake through his heart.
Yeah.
They
even talk about that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm literally helping you because you said a clown told you, so what the fuck do I know?
So, I'm gonna take this hammer so he won't come back to life. So you believe what that clown said? I don't think he's a vampire. I'm sorry. The clown was not supposed to talk at all.
Yeah.
Look, we're here because we believe a toy clown talked in the first place. Nothing is unbelievable in this town. Which is interesting. I kind of like the fact that like he was literally powered by like a spiral, the spring.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah. It like made sense in the end.
I think I like how everything is so disconnected, but everything builds off of each other.
I hate looking at him.
Yeah.
Everything feels like everything except for this chapter, funnily enough, feels like it builds off itself.
I feel like in the sense of like what he brings it up to is like at this point I'm willing to believe whatever because of all the stuff that's happened.
Because this is the only person who like was brought back to life by the spiral stuff. I thought this guy was gonna turn into a Kappa, if I'm honest, because they do have the shell. He kind of has the face. They only appear when it's raining.
Yeah.
I was like, this motherfucker's gonna turn into a Kappa, and they turned into a snail, and I was so confused. Also, he draws him so gross. He's so good at that. Also, these motherfuckers stripped this guy naked and was like, let's look at him naked. What's wrong with you?
I hear. So I saw somewhere that Junji Ito was like a dental assistant at some point, and then he just like wrote manga.
Yeah, apparently that's like one of like the reasons he wrote manga.
Which is very interesting. I wish I had more time to really dive into the background of Uzumaki and give some like facts around things like that, because I think it has some. I think the spiral has like some significance when it comes to like Japanese folklore.
I hate you. In case you're thinking Ultimate Uzumaki looks like it's inspired from Junji Ito's Uzumaki, it is. This is from the JJK subreddit. It's the first thing that pops up.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is... Okay, I take it back. This motherfucker is the anti-spiral. Fuck this guy.
That's funny.
Uzumaki was inspired by the positive representation of spirals in media, which inspired Ito to subvert them. To create this horror. Although the teacher was really like, we can't let these motherfuckers procreate.
I love that they were just like, all right, put them in the cage, and everybody's like, oh, they're fucking, ew, they're gay.
And this motherfucker has like a bunch of eggs on him. He came to class though. He was dedicated. He still has arms though.
Mm-hmm. He's like fully coherent. So all right, today we're talking about fractions.
I would have left so long ago, man.
Yeah.
Everyone in this town is so fucking stupid.
But I think that's indicative to just like human nature. I feel like people really are like this.
Yeah, I agree. But like seeing everyone burnt to a crisp here as a child and then going farther up.
Well, your little brother's up there.
No, them is who I'm talking about. They passed these motherfuckers too. These are the workers.
That's true.
Them's the motherfuckers. Fucking hate like these kids are stupid. They got that guy. They got that boy killed.
They did. That boy did get killed, burned to a crisp.
Yeah. I also hate like I don't know how they escaped. She should have died too. She had his hand before he got burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
Oh, the blast blasted us back. What about him? Did he explode?
He did the Piccolo thing.
God. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to bring up about this?
Honestly,
oh, the mosquito one. I'm just gonna get past that one real quick.
Not much. I think it's A tier for me.
Okay.
I put it in A.
I'll probably leave it in A for me, a low A tier.
I think that might make it the second highest thing we've read so far.
Aside from what, like Full Metal?
Full Metal's gonna be S, but we haven't finished it. But it's gonna be S. Let's just be so honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
I forgot where I put Dragon Ball. I think I put it at B.
I also think I put it at B. What else did we read? Pokemon? Pokemon wasn't that high.
Pokemon was a low A for me.
Mm.
I think our lists are the same except for another.
Yeah. I think I gave it what, like low B tier, high C tier?
I gave it an F.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing where our ranks differ. Because other than that, I feel like I'm way more charitable for things, and
yeah.
I just didn't like it. But I mean, we're gonna have another F tier. Well, I guess we can't because we didn't finish it.
I mean, but we can still.
But we can make an inquisitive guess. For our 500 subscriber special, which is coming out next week.
I was kind of worried that our 500 subscriber special would be looked upon better than our 100 subscriber special book. I was like, what if he likes this better than like 100 Girlfriends? And I read it and I was like, there's no way.
There's no way.
Zero way.
Now you bring up an excellent question. What do I like better? I think 100 Girlfriends at least knows what it is.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
At least you know who it's for.
Yeah. I don't know who the fuck that we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Do you have anything else?
Let's talk about like our final thoughts. I definitely think you should if you haven't read this. There's a bunch of things we didn't go over, like the spiral row houses,
the spiral nemesis,
the anti-spiral, which is obviously the spiral nemesis. The Thorn guy, which doesn't make any sense. He's like not like he's barely Thorns.
They go into space. They fight. Throw galaxies at each other.
Yeah, my favorite part is when the Hurricane tries to flirt with the girl, gets mistaken on who's who, showing he's just here for superficial looks, and then kills a lady for it. A Storm does this.
The idea of falling from that high, does fucking terrify me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like that was unexplored. I feel like that should have been explored more.
Like there's some pocket dimension where the spiral took her and then killed her and.
Well, like the Storm falling in love with her,
Mhm.
like just in general.
I wonder if that is purely because she keeps narrowly escaping every.
The spirals.
Every
Well, no, I
spiral.
feel like this was like a different entity than like whatever spiral was in the lake, because the lake like ate those motherfucking hurricanes.
Yeah.
These came from outside of the lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like they were like, oh, these spirals are given power when they're here. That's why it chose not to leave after it arrived. Because like, holy fuck, I'm a thing now.
Yeah.
It was just a normal hurricane before that.
Mm. Gain sentience. You see the hurricane grow eyes. Like,
A woman. Hold up, am I still? Am I making noise? Yeah. All right, cool. I touched the cable and I was like, what if I just unplugged it? But it's by the fact that they like clip in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what if?
I forgot what I was doing. I forgot what that was from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you watch Meat Canyon at all?
No.
So he's a YouTuber.
Oh, he's a person.
Yeah. So he makes really good
Then
horror animation.
No, absolutely.
But
not.
like he also does other things like
Did he do that Finding Nemo bit? Because if it is, I'm gonna kill him.
I don't know what you're referring to.
There's this terrifying like comic drawing. It's like I think it's also voice acted about like Nemo, Finding Nemo. Sorry, I turned that off and I turned it back on when we were eating. Anyway, he like Dory's like I ate Nemo, and then like Marlin's like I have to get him out of there, and then it turns out like she didn't, but she was pregnant with like Marlin's baby, and then like fucking kill Marlin.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
My
about.
friend sent it to me, and I was like, you ever send me something like that again, I will literally never talk to you.
He makes some parody stuff, but it's like he's been doing a lot on YouTubers where it's just like he draws people in the most grotesque fucking ways possible.
Don't like that.
But he does really good body horror as well. But he also does like because he's like now doing kind of like commentary stuff. He'll throw in some animation with it. It was funny. He was ranking cereals, and then he was like, "I'm gonna rank all these cereals," and he drew the mascots, animated them, and then he animated popular serial killers, and everyone who didn't make it to the next round was just murdered by those serial killers. It was
That's really funny.
It's such a good video. But he was ranking frozen pizzas, and he has these two really well made puppets, one of a computer and one of an oven, like a oven that's like this grotesque, like more like body.
Yeah. I get
Like a disgusting creature, but it's an oven and a functioning oven. So he's cooking pizzas with the oven, and then it's talking, and then he says like to her, and she's like. She keeps doing that, and it fucking kills me every time.
I forgot this was a setup for you being like, where did I get that from?
Yeah.
I was like, where's he going with this?
It's so grotesque. It's so funny. It's a really well made puppet.
I'll pass.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gross, but it's like a really well made puppet.
I think it's really funny, like who they choose to be where. Like they choose the hair bit for the top for the cover.
Mm-hmm.
They choose the spring guy for the back, and they just choose the row houses for the back. And I meant the spine. They chose the spring man.
Yeah, it's the most palatable for sure to be on a cover.
Oh yeah. It wasn't as like gory as I was worried it would be.
Yeah, it for what it's worth, it's a very tasteful body horror piece.
Yeah.
I think if you're squeamish, you may have some trouble.
You will.
But it is very tasteful for what it's worth. There's nothing that's like there's like a fine line between needing to shock you and doing things that are shocking.
Sorry, now that I'm thinking about this, wow, like this is really like hey, yeah, the spiral does give you power, like from Gurren Lagann, except here's what would happen if you just give it to anybody.
And that's how a drill works. Sorry, I had a question to bring up.
Cool.
Because we just did a little trigger warning. and I was gonna bring this up in Dandadan.
Uh-huh.
So this creator that I follow, and I can't remember their name, but they will be on screen. Made a video saying like, "Hey, anyone who is saying that Dandadan doesn't keep those themes later on, it's not true. I think there should be some sort of spoil or trigger warning for this show." I think as a creator, it's necessary to give these trigger warnings. Do you think it's necessary for the show to have to? Because if I'm recommending something, sure, I'm going to give a trigger warning. I'm recommending it to someone.
It's complicated. I feel like it borders on spoiler territory, but I feel like there should be some sort of warning. But that's usually what fucking ratings are for.
Yeah. Because, like,
You think there should be like an explicit one, like in the beginning of Doki Doki?
I don't know. Because I don't know if it's the job of the creator to. I don't know if it's the job of the creator to brace someone for what they're going to show them.
So, well, because it's not like what they're showing is what's being shown.
Yeah.
Because as a creator, I'm not being like, hey, I think everyone should see this. I think the people who should enjoy it or who enjoy it should see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product of you should know what you're buying before you buy it type thing.
Yeah.
You should know what you're eating before you consume it. But with something like this is you don't know what's what, and especially with something like Dandadan, like with how sudden the thing happens, you would need a forewarning. But the issue is like who's someone has to start from scratch. Someone is starting from square one. It's like, oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah.
And I feel like there should be some warning somewhere. But I don't think it's the creator's job to do that. I think it's whoever publishes it, whoever puts it out. Like if it's on TV, there should be an appropriate warning. If it's on what's called, be like, hey, warning.
Does that take away from artistic vision if it's meant to be a little bit of a surprise? Because my thing is,
I feel like it's a worthy sacrifice because you primed me.
I did, but that's recommendation from another person rather than, putting a video somewhere. So the reason I'm curious is because
well, that's what I'm saying. The people who are publishing this, like someone like or who are like putting it out there, like Crunchyroll or whoever published a Viz, I feel like it's their job to decide whether or not they should. And the way they should do it is like through like, hey, forewarnings like on the front cover, not the front cover, the title, not the title page, like table of contents, like the one of those extra pages, or like, hey, when you click on this on Crunchyroll, it'll be like, hey, just let you know, adult themes. If you're not comfortable with like topics like this, please be aware.
Yeah, but at that case, in that point, isn't that just what a rating's for?
Yes.
The reason I'm curious is because, or the way I've been thinking about this a lot, is when Emily comes out. And I'm gonna take this part out. I think when Emily comes out, I've chosen not to put a trigger warning for the ending.
Here's the thing, that is a horror film. I feel like you should expect dark themes, even including stuff like that, in something like this.
What would you call Dandadan?
Dandadan's a shonen, is it not?
It
shonen.
is.
It's on Shonen Jump.
It is weirdly on a shonen.
Yeah.
Thing.
So that's what I think. That's why I think that should be there. If this was on Shonen Advanced, with the more advanced themes and stuff like that, then I'd be like, okay. If it was on something else like that,
I feel like we're really pushing like crazy like nuanced themes now on Shonen Jump, which I think is a really cool trend. Like,
I respect it.
Chainsaw Man is also something that like.
Yeah. Now I think about it, never mind. I think they're fine. I just realized Chainsaw Man's there.
Bless you.
Thank you.
But Chainsaw Man also deals with a lot of sexual themes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm curious because.
I just remember the vomit scene again.
You could interpret Dandadan as being something with horror elements, whether or not it's horror, a horror story. It makes me second guess whether or not my decision to not put a trigger warning on Emily has been the right move.
I feel that your rating should speak for itself. However, do not let your rating spoil what you're doing.
Yeah.
I actually just saw a meme about that, and I was like, I don't get it, because I've never looked at like ratings and stuff because I'm an adult. I'm like, yeah, it's for me. Obviously, I'm an adult.
I don't care what fucking rating Elmo and Grouchland is.
Exactly.
I'm an adult.
But 7+, I'm older than 7.
I'm plus.
But like, it was like a meme of like, oh yeah, trigger warning, and then it was like insect having sex with the main character, the insect secretly being the love interest that you didn't know about. Like, oh, that's a rating. Um, and the guy was like, oh, but like this is like probably not spoilers for anything. I have no idea what he's referencing, but I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was God priming me for now.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
Yeah. I think my big thing is like, because when I made my Don Don video saying like, hey, episode one is really good, I put a trigger warning at the end of it.
Right.
And I also did it to the beat of the music, and I thought that was really good. Sorry, patting myself on the back. The big thing about that video is that I was like, hey, here's a trigger warning, because I'm recommending it to people, and I feel shitty if I recommended something without bracing them for it. But I feel as if when I read Don Don Volume 1, I thought it was better because I didn't know it was going to happen. Granted, I don't have any sort of mental PTSD from anything like that.
Right.
So it wasn't going to affect me.
This is not a trigger for you.
It's not. And I think...
I guess it's also another reason why I don't look at ratings. I'm like, I don't have any triggers except for like, I'm squeamish. Mm-hmm. And if I'm an adult, I'm going to be like, all right, I guess I'll just stop watching. Because it's not like a trigger. It's just, I'm a little squeamish.
Yeah. I just feel like if I'm recommending to someone, I probably should just be like, hey, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's something about the experience of like being thrown into an uncomfortable situation in a controlled environment, like watching a show.
Yeah.
That cannot be replicated, you know?
I feel like there should be warnings. They should be vague, but there should be warnings.
Yeah. I think the rating should only go so far.
Yeah.
Like, you know, be willing to look at certain themes if you're looking at this rating. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think artistically it might take away from it.
Here's the thing. You don't see people saying that shit about Berserk. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, something way worse happens in Berserk.
Yeah.
Two Guts Berserk.
But also, you gave me a warning.
Yes, but I didn't get that warning. I read Berserk blind. I stumbled upon Berserk.
Yeah.
This is one of those, like, you know how, like, oh, I discovered you, how you were like, I kind of felt better about something because I found it myself. That's how it was with Berserk. I literally was scrolling through every anime or every manga of all time, and I went, Berserk.
Do you think it added to the experience, the fact that you knew nothing about it?
I think it, like, shattered my soul as an individual.
Yeah.
But it was something that drew me in because I'm not putting myself in Guts' shoes.
Yeah.
It's also something it's also very clear what kind of story Berserk is before you get there. Because you won't get there for a while. Like you won't get there in the first volume.
Yeah.
It's very obvious that, hey, this is very serious. You're going to be talking about serious tones. And these serious tones persist throughout the entire series. With Don Don On, you don't get that. Because you get thrown in, it's very comedic until that point.
Yeah.
It's very lighthearted.
Which is how life is.
Yeah. And that's totally reasonable, but that's why I think there needs to be a warning with it.
There was a little explicit content warning on the bottom of the cover.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at that and being like, oh, that's interesting.
See, that's in my opinion, enough.
And I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think a full-on, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think when shows do viewer discretion is advised, I think I know what I'm in for at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine.
Because I feel like that didn't take away from, like, the nearest parallel of Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, that is the nearest parallel for me.
That is such an interesting...
Or, like...
horror medium.
Yeah. I fucking love.
I like Doki Doki a lot. I remember experiencing it raw. Like, I knew nothing about it.
I experienced it through Jacksepticeye.
Me and Maya actually experienced it through...
The Detention Podcast.
Back when it was the playground.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Sorry. I forgot that.
And we didn't know anything about it. And I remember, like, that was a very authentic experience. Even the warning was an authentic experience.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's weird.
Because here's the thing. You're not going to be like, oh, this happens to a character once you get that warning. you're just gonna be like, okay, I have to be aware that something dangerous might happen.
And I think with a game like Doki Doki, I think that adds to the experience.
Exactly.
But I think with Dandadan, or like any other artistic thing, I think sometimes if you're like we mentioned, if we're going a little too specific, it's going to take away from it.
Yeah.
Dandadan, of course, is not meant to be like this. It's very, for what it's worth, it's a very low key scene compared to other scenes like it.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's like, you know.
There is another more specific parallel to exactly this, and it's Goblin Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Goblin Slayer has its worst moment like this in its first volume, where spoilers for Goblin Slayer, the first volume, I'm going to spoil it completely. If you haven't seen it and you want to for whatever reason, please be aware that something tragic does happen. One of the main characters, Priestess, she goes out with a brand new party. She's new to adventuring. They're going to go slay goblins. That's her whole thing. They're all noobs. First adventure together. They're not even friends. They don't know each other.
Yeah.
They go out on this adventure. It's 3 women and a guy. They're so confident, and then while they're going hunting, they get flanked from behind because they're not checking shadows clearly, and they get flanked. Everyone dies except for the main girl and one of the other girls. And it's tragic. One of the girls gets stabbed in the stomach and horrifically assaulted. The other girl also gets horrifically assaulted and her bones are all broken, but she lives. But we never see her again. Yeah. She loses herself. Like, she goes back to church and is like never talked to again. She's like a shell of her former self is how they described her.
Yeah.
And this is important for the show. It's to show that, hey, goblins, while they're just seen as like a starter quest, they're a horrific thing to experience and stuff like that. In my opinion, seeing that raw is supposed to be shocking. It's supposed to be like, hey, you need to be aware of what this is. You're not like, these aren't like jokes.
Yeah.
And it's also to set up why Goblin Slayer is the way he is, because he experienced living through that when his whole village was wiped out. He is the sole survivor. He saw that happen to his family, his older sister. And they don't do that ever again. Like, there are some scenes where you see women just like chained up, naked women strewn about because something tragic happened to them. They're like, you already know what happened. You've seen it a couple times already. You don't need to see it again. And I feel like Dandadan is showing the threat that these aliens are, despite how stupid they are. They're like, hey, this is the threat. Please be aware. And I honestly didn't, like, until I started talking, I didn't kind of get that. Like, hey, no matter how goofy these motherfuckers are, they're a danger, whether they're goblins or these fucking cryptid aliens.
Yeah.
And I feel like, should that warning be there for Dandadan? The more I look at Dandadan, the more I'm like, yes. Especially because the way it happens, it's like the scene where they like rip off her clothes is.
I think that is the worst part.
That is like, even the part after that where like she's already strapped to the table feels like way
more tame
because of especially how calm she is.
Yeah.
But the scene right before that's horrifying.
That not to say that that's part of the scene is not.
Yeah. It is shown to be more.
She has a little bit more control than that moment.
She's more aware at the very least.
Yeah.
And I feel like a warning would be fine, especially because while she was attacked, she did handle the situation. So I feel like if you didn't give the warning, it would theoretically be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Not like something like Goblin Slayer, which is why I literally never recommended Goblin Slayer. It's one of my favorite books, manga, and anime. I've seen bits and pieces of the anime. It's one of my favorites. I'm never recommending that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, I was talking. Oh, weren't we on Uzumaki?
We are still on Uzumaki. But this is good.
You might need to chop this up and throw it into the other video, man.
Nah, it's fine. We'll just keep it one longer video. I guess I'll end on this. Got a little more lighthearted. I wish, because now we're getting a little more visceral with like Shonen Jump manga. They're allowed to be a little more like, you know.
They're growing with their audience now.
Yeah, which is kind of, I feel like we recessed a little bit. At least from adaptation wise, because I think Goku in Dragon Ball was getting fucking holes blown into him, right? Shit like that. and then Super happens, and then now he's not getting any blood or nothing. Nothing's. Where's the Dragon Ball blood?
I'm so tired now.
Yeah.
Oh, this fight has tired me out. Oh.
Piccolo shot a fucking hole through his chest twice. And then I think it's kind of been gone until like the Moro arc, where he fucking pierces through Goku's body with his hand, which was fucking raw. That shit was so cool.
I feel like that's why you really like the Moro arc. I actually am like not a fan.
I think
Moro.
I think it's better than anything else happened in Super.
I really like the tournaments.
I still think Moro is the best arc.
I like Granola. I lied. I like Granola the best.
I like Granola too. I think Granola is a little weaker.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And if we're counting the movie, I like Superhero arc the best. I don't think you've read that though.
I have not. But Superhero is my favorite Dragon Ball movie in general.
Yeah.
But I want more,
I want it to be more, less handholdy, less like, don't worry, the hero will never show weakness. Because, like, that's the thing, like, Goku loses a fucking lot.
We talked about this recently, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite, Davie was talking to me, he was like, Goku just keeps losing in Super, and then I list every time he's not won in regular. He's like, oh man, Goku just does lose a lot.
Yeah.
Because, like, he didn't beat Vegeta, he didn't beat Raditz, he did beat Nappa. He technically beat Frieza, eventually.
He beat Frieza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't beat any androids. He didn't beat Cell.
He didn't get to fight the androids. He fought Android 19.
He fought those androids though.
He fought Android 19 and had his heart condition not been there, he would have probably been okay.
Yes, but he lost is my point.
Yeah, but he didn't like fight all of them.
He didn't beat Boo. And he like until
it's
Kid
such
Buu.
a shitty decision to wish him to full health.
Yeah. Like literally like, oh, he's out of mana, give him a mana potion. Like that's literally what happened there.
I can see it as like
It's like me fighting the Elite Four and using a full restore. Except I'm like a 10-year-old.
Except it's cool when I do it.
It's not cool. I'm having a heart attack the whole time.
I think it's I see where people are coming from with that part where it's like, well, now he's relying on the Earth. I don't care. It's Goku.
See, the Spirit Bomb, I don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
It's them being like, no, Boo's about to win. Let's wish him to full strength.
Yeah.
This is literally like the opposite of Cell. Cell, where he's like, no, we gotta beat him at full strength. He's like, no, I need this. I haven't got a dub in a long time. I need this.
And Gohan's like, no, let him handle it.
No, Gohan's dead.
No, he's alive at that point.
Oh yeah. Right,
he's in wish back.
And for my wish, I wish Boo back to full power. What? Gohan, the petty ass motherfucker.
We can wish Goku back to full health. Shenron, or was it Purunga?
They used Purunga.
Purunga and Gohan's like, just give Boo back, or put Boo back at full power.
Well, they could. There was one extra wish that I think the Kais used to separate themselves. So there was one extra wish that they just didn't have.
Yeah.
So they could have. They could have been like, wish Earth back and everyone alive. Wish for Goku at full power. Wish for Boo at full power.
Fucking why? He kills Goku.
Kills Vegeta. Because Vegeta's still weak.
Yeah. I love that Vegeta's, and we'll end right now, I'm sorry.
No,
I love that Vegeta's turned into more of like a petty rivalry with Goku. Now he has no desire to just be better. He's like, nah, now I'm winning, but you'll be winning soon, and then I'll be winning after that.
I kind of miss evil Vegeta.
I think it
wish
makes sense
he was
that there was growth.
more evil.
I don't like that portion of the Boo arc, so I'm fine without it.
But it happened.
Yeah. And I think now it's like, because he had his redemption kind of arc. He sacrificed himself. He saw Goku.
He had his redemption moment where he killed himself.
No. Here's the thing. That part wasn't him necessarily redeeming himself. That was him making a last-ditch attempt to just say, hey, fuck it. I'm taking him out with me. I'm going to die. I'll just die like that. Whatever happens, happens. He gets a second chance at life. He gets a second chance at having a body in his soul, with his soul, to fight Boo. In that moment, has a moment of clarity, realizes what he's fighting for, and says, you know what, Goku, you are the best. I acknowledge that now. I don't need to be powerful. I'm okay. You've rubbed off on me. I'm okay with my circumstances now. the earth is my home. I love my family. Given that second chance, he used that and became a better person.
I don't care.